Welcome to this explainer. For way too long, human resources has been boxed into a corner. They're often viewed as just a purely administrative function, the people who hand out the employee handbooks and process your leave requests. But the reality of modern business is actually far more complex than that. Today, we're completely shifting our view. We're going to explore how HR is really a vital strategic powerhouse, the very core of an organization's ability to survive and thrive. Think of it as both the engine that powers the company and the compass that points it in the exact right direction.
Okay, let's dive into this. When you hear the letters HR, do you immediately think of payroll, policies, and just endless paperwork? Well, that outdated stereotype is exactly what we need to challenge today. If a company treats its HR department merely as a processing center, they are literally leaving immense strategic value on the table. The true scope of HR goes so much further than simply filling empty seats and making sure people get paid on time.
Take a look at this quote from our source material. It highlights that HR's mandate is actually deeply intertwined with an organization's long-term objectives. Think about it. In today's era of intense global competition, rapid technological shifts, and crazy market dynamics, a company absolutely cannot rely on its product alone. It needs a highly adaptable, perfectly tuned operational engine. And who builds and maintains that engine? Human resources. They're the architects of the workforce that will either win or lose in the global market.
To understand exactly how they do this, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, beyond hiring and firing. Second, driving operational efficiency. Third, achieving organizational effectiveness. Fourth, the efficiency-effectiveness link. And finally, number 5, a holistic HR strategy.
Section 1. Beyond hiring and firing. The new HR paradigm.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the rigorous academic foundation underlying this massive paradigm shift. Before we unpack the specific strategies, look at this detailed methodology mapped out here. The insights we're talking about today aren't just trendy business buzzwords. They're actually drawn from a comprehensive literature review spanning 10 whole years of academic research on human resource management. This methodology involved filtering and analyzing a massive array of peer-reviewed journals to synthesize exactly how HR drives real-world business results. So yeah, this is data-backed strategy at its finest.
Section 2. Driving operational efficiency. HR as the engine.
To really grasp HR's full impact, we have to separate two distinct concepts: efficiency and effectiveness. Let's start with efficiency. In an organizational context, efficiency is the capacity to optimally utilize resources. We're talking capital, time, human labor, technology, to generate greater output with minimal input. Using our central analogy, think of efficiency as your company's engine. When HR management optimizes efficiency, they're ensuring that the engine is running perfectly, accelerating smoothly, and not wasting a single drop of gas. It's all about doing things right and stripping away operational waste.
Now, by direct contrast, we have effectiveness. Effectiveness is the extent to which an organization actually achieves its strategic goals, drives customer satisfaction, and hits its long-term planned achievements. So if efficiency is the engine, effectiveness is the compass. Because honestly, it doesn't matter how perfectly your engine is running if you're driving in the completely wrong direction. Effectiveness ensures you are doing the right things to reach your desired destination. So how exactly does HR build that highly efficient engine? Well, the research outlines a few exact steps. First up is proper competency-based recruitment. Finding the right person from the start minimizes costly retraining and speeds up operations. Next is job-specific training, which obviously reduces work errors and allows employees to maximize their use of technology. Third, and this connects directly to a lot of our daily experiences, is flexible time management. The research highlights that offering flexibility, like work-from-home schedules, lets employees choose their most productive hours, which naturally boosts overall output without sacrificing quality. And finally, fostering a productive work environment that actually focuses on employee well-being directly reduces absenteeism and increases focus.
Section 3. Achieving organizational effectiveness. HR as the compass.
Because we have to ask ourselves, what happens if a company is highly efficient, perfectly executing its daily tasks, but completely ineffective at adapting to the market? Well, they just become obsolete. But highly efficiently, congratulations, you're the fastest sinking ship in the ocean. To prevent that, HR acts as the compass through some very specific mechanisms. One powerful tool is cross-functional training. By teaching employees how other departments work, HR cultivates the organizational adaptability needed to hit long-term, shifting goals. Another mechanism is goal-based performance evaluations. This turns performance reviews from simple report cards into forward-looking development tools. HR is also tasked with cultivating transformational leadership, leaders who actually inspire innovation rather than just managing a checklist of tasks. Finally, fostering high employee engagement ensures that the workforce is both emotionally and intellectually committed to the company's ultimate destination.
A massive driver of this effectiveness actually comes down to elevated work motivation. Our source text grounds this in two major psychological theories: Hertzberg's two-factor theory and Maslow's needs theory. Essentially, these theories tell us that while extrinsic factors, like pay, are obviously important, it's the recognition of intrinsic needs that truly drives higher performance. We're talking personal growth, autonomy, a sense of achievement. When HR designs roles and environments that fulfill those intrinsic needs, employees don't just work faster, they work smarter, contributing directly to the organization's strategic effectiveness.
Section 4, the efficiency-effectiveness link, the strategic loop.
This right here is where the true strategic power of HR is fully realized. We can see the two concepts side by side. Efficiency is the engine doing things right, maximizing short-term speed, reducing waste. Effectiveness is the compass doing the right things, hitting strategic goals, driving long-term success. So the crucial point is that these are absolutely not mutually exclusive. They're two sides of the exact same strategic coin. An organization focusing only on efficiency will eventually lose relevance, while one focusing only on effectiveness will just burn through its resources and fail financially. You need both.
And this brilliantly illustrates how a single, well-executed HR action can drive both at the same time. Look at the table. If HR implements a digital human resource information system, the efficiency output is automated admin tasks, which saves massive amounts of time. But simultaneously, the effectiveness output is that this system generates data analytics that leaders can use for long-term strategic decisions. The exact same goes for training and performance evaluations. One strategic HR action fuels both the short-term operational speed and the long-term strategic direction.
It creates this incredibly powerful synergy loop. Short-term efficiency actually fuels long-term effectiveness. When an organization works efficiently, it reduces waste and saves money on operational costs, right? Well, a strategic HR department ensures that those saved resources aren't just pocketed. They're actively reallocated into effectiveness-boosting activities. Think research and development, new product innovation, or expanding into brand new markets. The engine powers the journey that the compass dictates.
Section 5, a holistic HR strategy, bringing it together.
Now, understanding the academic theory is great, but let's move to and see how this builds into a holistic strategy for real leaders and real organizations. A holistic approach means every single HR component has to work synergistically. You can't just fix recruitment and totally ignore training. It requires aligning your hiring practices not just with today's open roles, but with tomorrow's strategic needs. It requires continuous development of both technical abilities and soft skills, like leadership. It demands the integration of digital HR systems to automate the mundane and analyze the complex. And, as noted in our sources, it involves utilizing independent, data-driven HR effectiveness reviews to constantly evaluate and adjust how the HR function is performing against business goals.
We've covered a ton of ground today, shifting from that outdated view of HR as just a paperwork factory to its rightful place as the engine and compass of organizational success. So, I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought. Take a hard look at your own organization. Is your HR team just filling seats and processing payroll, or are they actively steering the ship toward long-term victory? Honestly, the answer to that question might just be the deciding factor in your company's future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this sparks some really powerful conversations in your own workplace.